Yeah. So
Hello, Saurabh.
yeah, hi. So welcome everyone, whoever in the live session. It's a live session with foreign admits and a scholarship with Purvee Chauhan. She is right now working in NYU as a research scholar, and she had done her masters from Harvard University and a scholar of JN Tata Scholarship. So we will have a Q&A session. First, I will ask some general questions which we all have in our mind, and then we'll take some audience question in it. So yeah, so shall we start now?
Yes, absolutely, Saurabh. Thanks a lot for hosting this session for us and working so hard in bringing everyone together. I really appreciate all the effort that you've taken to get me here.
Thanks. So my first question was like scholarships are really competitive in nature. Talking
Hmm.
about this Jean Tata scholarship, but I do feel like with proper timing and understanding of the scholarship needs, like what exactly people are wanting from scholarship, we can have a chance to get it better. So how did you
Yeah.
approach with your scholarship?
Yeah, absolutely. So scholarships actually, yes, are indeed very competitive. And as you say, if you start working beforehand, if you exactly identify what is the course that you're wanting to do and what are the kind of scholarships that you might need, and work with it beforehand, make a list of scholarships that you are eligible to apply to, and start because even the scholarship process has a lot of I don't know, like a lot of things
Steps.
that you need to
Yeah.
submit with it. And so if you actually start preparing beforehand, figuring out what are the things that you need, at least 2, 3 months in advance, then you can start doing it. And everybody can gain a scholarship, even if it's even if it's competitive. So I would highly recommend that one starts working before. And I know that there are scholarships, in fact, even for within India and as much as outside of India. So yeah, like just start working beforehand.
And like you talk about, there are different things to remember while doing a scholarship. So what will be the compact checklist for a scholarship once a student should prepare beforehand? So what
Yeah.
will it be for you?
First of all, again, it depends on what time of the year are you applying for the scholarships.
Okay.
But if you're doing it after you've received your admits, then most importantly, your admit letter, where are you going? What is the course that you're going to pursue? If there's only one particular university that you've decided and said that this is where I'm going, then having that in hand and what are the courses that you're going to pursue within that, which professors are you working with, having a clarity on that front would be really helpful. Apart from that, there's a general checklist of most of the scholarship tracks, as much as there is for an admit or the universities. So you start with your
Okay.
statement of purpose, you go for your letter of recommendation, you have your transcripts ready, you have your GRE TOEFL scores ready, or any other standardized exams that you're giving. So just like that general packet, but having that really ready. And the most important piece that I say here is just a statement of purpose. Why do you want to take this scholarship? Is this scholarship merit based or is this scholarship need based? So tailoring your statement of purpose per the
Execution.
requirements, and and also like the statement of purpose, as they say, some of the places is a 500-word essay.
Yeah.
It's a smaller essay. In certain places, it'll be like a 1,500-word or 3-page essay. Again, depending on which scholarships are you applying to, some of them are still paper based. You actually have to print out the entire application form, even though you have to type it, but actually make a physical packet and courier it in
Oh,
right time, ensure that it's reaching wherever it has to reach. Having said that, there are online portals and ensuring that you're uploading all your documents. And sometimes, like the Indian scholarships, require a lot more documents, even your extracurriculars. So you might need to attach your certificates, or in certain cases, you might have to attach your salary slips or employment letter. So there are a lot of papers that you actually need to be ready with. And one thing is that you should definitely be mindful of is time, because it does
yeah.
actually pass by too soon.
Yeah, because the process is really long.
Yeah.
So by the way, you've given a bit detail about SOPs. So once a student start writing about SOPs, they try to like get the perfect one. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's more about being unique, being
Mm-hmm.
truthful about what you really are. But
Mm-hmm.
people try to be perfect. They
Mm-hmm.
try to get the copies tested with someone who are into SOPs. So how's you taken it? Like the agencies which are doing this, or how the people should go the first time with the beginner who is writing
Mm-hmm.
SOP.
I think SOP writing is not a 1 month long process. It's actually like a 1 or 2 year long process, right? From when you
No.
decide what you want to pursue till you actually get an admit to that. And statement of purpose, as they say, right? Like, what is your intent of doing this particular program, or what is your intent of applying to this particular scholarship? And what I've seen many, many times people do wrong is they just write their resume in words in a particular
Yes.
SOP, but you are actually submitting a resume on the side as well. So people don't need to again know what is on your statement of purpose. And to make it more robust in terms of like your question, whether it needs to be perfect or truthful, it needs to be both actually, and a lot more than that. Truthful in terms of like who you are is only, I would say, a 1/5 part of your SOP. There are 5 to 6 major components. It starts with who you are, what's your background, which program are you applying to, why are you applying to this program, what are the kind of courses that you might want, what is your long term goal, what is your short term goal, and what is your intent of being in this particular university, what is your intent of being in this particular program, what do you bring to the table. So there are many, many questions that you answer, which is not the same as your resume. So like I'm pretty sure the agencies or the career counselors do know about this, and they help guide you through this process. But I worked on my SOPs on my own, and I know that this process can only be owned by me, because nobody can understand me and my intent better than I can. So I
Yes.
never approached any counseling organization or like or people. I did take help from my family members, because sometimes you cannot see things about yourself that
Things
your
are
family members can see. But I did not. I know that it's a very inward looking process and not outward looking process. And I would highly recommend anyone who's writing SOPs start from the beginning. One way to do it would be just keep on writing points in your notebook, or like make a notes on your phone
journalizing the
app.
whole stuff.
Just exactly keep journaling every day. What's another point? And then like make your structure, like the kind of questions that there's some 6 7 questions. Start answering those questions on your own every time. Maybe you're traveling in your train, maybe you're riding your bike, and there's something that pops up. So keep on writing it. Do not wait for the last 15 minutes, like 15 days for your SOP, because it's going to be miserable. So don't get
So,
there and start beforehand.
so like those last 1 month, or it's more about accumulating the all the stuff you have written back. It's
Yeah.
not about starting the first time.
It's so tedious. Like I remember like at one point when I was applying for, in fact, even studying abroad, or even these scholarships, especially the ones that were paper based. I had a big bed, like in my on my bed and in my room. Everywhere there were just papers, and I had like just literally made bundles, and there was only very little space where I could sleep. So it takes everything like of yours if you want to do it really
Yeah.
well. Hmm.
And I see like before you did your like studies in India. So in India,
Hmm.
I can see that there are the subjects are more major based. Like you have to be in a particular niche. But when you go
Hmm.
abroad, you can try a course which have different streams in it, and you can
Hmm.
explore your options more. So how's your taking it? Like which is better? Like what's your review? Because you have studied both.
Yeah, it's a question that I have not really answered even until today, being an educator, that how
Oh,
much flexibility or how much agency is good agency in terms
yeah,
of like preparing your courses. What do you want to study? When is the right time when you know that you want to study?
yeah,
Is undergrad a good time to be flexible in the way you pick up subjects, or is post graduation a time where you can pick up your subjects?
yeah.
But in my personal experience, because I had worked 5 years before I came to my program, and I exactly knew what I wanted from this program. I was very, very clear, and which is why I think there were approximately 350 courses only from my school to pick from for one semester, and then there were more. Like
Oh,
there would be at least 1,000 courses to pick from different universities that I could have probably weaved into my program. But I was pretty sure that this is where I want to be, and I could make that selection. But I also know of my friends who found it really hard, who had come from India to pick their courses. So there is usually a pre-selected course kind of list. There's a default list that you could take and go ahead as well. So there are options, but which system is better, the Indian or the more flexible system? Actually, both, depending on the kind of person that you are and how much clarity do you have
You
about
have in
what
your
you
mind.
want to do. Hmm.
And one more thing was like you started your studying in foreign university before by taking a work ex. So
Yeah.
what's the benefit of doing a work ex before entering a graduate school, and how was your peers interaction with them?
Yeah, it's in fact, as I was telling you even before we started this live stream, it depends on the kind of person you are, what is the kind of stream that you've taken, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. So when I was taking my work experience, it was mainly to actually understand the landscape, be on the grassroots, and have start having questions that I might want to solve, for which I did my masters. Couple of things that really helped is that I think I was good at collaboration. I had worked with different type of people. So when I came into a foreign land, I was able to talk properly. I was able to understand. I was able to organize my learning. I was able to plan exactly what I wanted to do. And it was very much in line with what I wanted to do, which is why my work experience helped. And as I said, like even in course selection, like having independence thought, that independence of thought, um, like when you're doing it on your own, like after work experience, it's a lot more helpful. You feel a lot more confident in front of people, and you also come in with a set of point of view, and that helps when you are
Yeah,
so you are able to debate, you're able to question, you're able to like go deeper into a subject. And again, it
yeah,
depends whether you're changing your field or not. Like I knew that I am doing my master's in education to go deeper into what I know. So I had my work experience, which is why going deeper helped. But if I would have just started like right after my bachelor's in engineering, gone into master's in education, it would have been a very big downfall. Even if I might have learned a lot, I would not have been able to go deeper. It would have been another sort of learning, and I might need more experiences to do so. But it depends again on who is the kind of person that you are. Do you learn by doing, or do you learn by being in a classroom? It totally depends on you.
so like that work experience just gave you time to figure out what exactly you need to do, like
Um,
answering the
yeah,
stuffs you have.
yeah. I did actually knew I did actually know that I would be doing a master's in education. I did not want to do
Okay,
any other course, but it
okay.
helped me go deeper into my own stream.
And like why you applied for this scholarship? I must say that this scholarship is really competitive. It have
Hmm.
stages in the whole process. So can you
Hmm.
describe the stages which you've been through in the whole process?
Yeah. So it's funny that I actually got to know about this scholarship. So the courses abroad are really expensive, as we all
Yeah.
know. So I had applied for the Harvard financial aid anyway, which I had secured, and I was like, okay, like, but like it's still not sufficient. I might have to take a huge loan to go.
Yeah.
So I was just discussing this with my roommate in Bombay, and she said, there's a travel scholarship for Tata. You might want to just
Yeah.
look into that. Maybe you get like flight tickets or something. I was like, okay, why not? Like as much money as flows in, why not? But then when I started that, like it was just like I did not even know that scholarships existed for at least the
Okay.
program.
Yeah.
And then it was only, I think there were only 4 days for Tata scholarship to end when I actually got to know about it.
Okay.
And trust me, those 4 days I might not have slept in the night, but I would have worked really, really, really hard to get put everything together. And in fact, even my statement of purpose, I had to really like work on that the most, because I did not have like I did not think of anything for my scholarship, and I had the rest of
Yeah.
the documents ready, which was lucky. So basically, for any kind of scholarship, or for most kind of scholarships, there would be 3 to 4 stages. You
Okay.
begin with an online application or a paper-based application where they
Yeah.
ask you for those basic statement of purpose, letter of
Documents.
recommendation, and all of those things. Then the second stage would be, at least for me, was a critical thinking test or a reasoning test, which is like
Okay.
60 minutes, 40 questions or something like that. So you sit through that. clear that, and then there's an interview, in-person interview, maybe like no, not an in-person interview, an interview, but I think it's also Skype based, and I went in person to the office. It is a technical interview about the course that you're pursuing, the programs that
Okay.
you're doing, and what is your previous work experience, and then you get through the scholarship. So, and I had applied for multiple. I had applied to almost like 8 to 9 scholarships, of which I made into 2 to 3 scholarships. But Tata one is definitely one of the most competitive,
Yeah.
and that it makes me really happy that I grabbed it.
So yeah, the whole process was long and it was like
Mhm.
a tiresome process. And by
Yeah.
the way, like after this pandemic, the things have started
Hmm.
to shift more of virtual.
Hmm.
And like I feel like there are few courses which are running offline and are pretty well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what do you think about today? Like if a person have a restriction of financial need, so they should go
Hmm.
with this scholarship. Like if they can't get the scholarship, so they should go like a foreign land, or they can try the online courses, which are a full time course.
Hmm. Yeah. Like, again, this is a question I might not have an answer to, like a very direct answer. Again, depends on where you're coming from, right? So there's one of my friends who also got into the same program as me, um, and this year the program was all online, and he preferred it that way. He said, like, I can actually do it from home. I do not have to spend any money to travel. I do not have to spend any money to stay abroad. And he had secured certain amount of scholarship as well, so he thought that why not? It would help him advance in his career. Also came from a lot of work experience, so he thought that it's just about learning and just focused on that aspect. But I also know of a lot of friends who deferred their admissions into some really good B schools or even public policy schools, who thought that it's important to have a dialogue, who thought it's important to be in the classroom and learn from diverse perspectives, and then they thought that doing it online might not help. So again, depends from person to
On the
person,
course and a person.
on the course, what would you like to learn, how long is the course, and what are your financial viabilities, like how much can you spend from your pocket, how much can you not. If it's like a $200,000 program, and if you're doing it from India and you're not getting a chance to make the money back from a foreign land, then $200,000 is almost like over a crore rupees, and how would you make it back?
Reimburse.
So depends again on your return of investment. But if you're only doing it for the purposes of learning, and money is not a big factor, then I would highly recommend that go online, and you can always you will also learn, because being an edtech professional, I have seen that there are some really really good courses that are running even online. Like, one great example is my own school that ran an entire year online, and I've heard great reviews about professors who work too hard to put it all together and make it very viable and a learning experience for all kids. So depending, like, the multiple factors, as I would say again, happy to take it case by case. Like, if I know that this is the
The
exact
person, the
situation,
background. Yeah.
yeah, then I might be able to give a better recommendation.
So like, if I come back to Indian education system, so here we do a graduation in particular subject, and then if we have to do a transition to some different subject, it's really hard. You can't just skip like doing a computer science graduation and you skip to masters in sociology or philosophy. So how it's about in US and how a person should go about it if he does not prefer to have a work ex before that.
I'm as much an Indian as you are, Saurabh. I've come here only like 2 years ago, so
Like I'm
just
just
letting you know.
because the people
Um,
here are curious about this thing. Like the
yeah,
transition phase
absolutely.
is crucial thing.
Yeah, trust me that even India is moving towards a smoother transition. Like,
Yeah,
if I wanted to pursue a master's in education in India, I could have totally done that
yeah,
and really enjoyed doing that. So I don't really think that there is a lot of barrier. I think the barrier is only the way we think it's in our mindsets, but not really, like, honestly, like, not even happening in
the
India.
transition is
Yeah,
smooth.
transition is smooth. It's really smooth. You just have to try. You just have to attempt that. Like, even you are in a math program and you're going for an
Yeah,
MBA, right? How tough is it? You're not doing a master's in math. You're doing an MBA, and
yeah,
you're writing an exam, and you're doing it, and you're going to be equally good when you do an
equally.
MBA.
Yeah,
So just yeah, it is a good transition in terms of like America. The best part is that it is just so smooth, and people really value you for what you bring on the table, irrespective of whatever backgrounds you're coming from. So in my classroom, I had a chef who wanted to learn how to teach. He was a head chef, and he wanted to teach how the junior chefs could work better, and came for a master's in education. So there are different kind of people who come into your cohort, and it's very valued. And the diversity of experiences, not just in my school, but I'm pretty sure all schools across America, they really value that. And in terms of India as well, when you actually apply for IIMs, etc., they do care for diversity. They do care for
Yeah.
which part of the country are you coming from, what are the kind of courses that you've done before. So the transition is smooth as long as you are ready to take that chance.
So it's in the progress. I
Mm-hmm.
might have reframed it in a better way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so my next part was like while preparing for a CV and while doing a work which isn't from my particular field, to show that in my SOP. So how a person should do about it while still in college, as you were in the college and you started to figuring out you have a call for education. So how did you find it?
Yeah. So my story, like personally, I figured out that I wanted to be in education was I think around my technically when I was in third standard, but anyway, later around
Yeah.
11th standard, when I actually started to teach two girls who were daughters of my carpenter who was working in our house. So he would just get those two girls in our house, and I started to teach them, and I really enjoyed it, and I realized this is what I wanted to do. So when I was in engineering, like I picked engineering just because I come from a highly educated family. So everybody thought that engineering could be a good option, and I was academically good. So then I just picked that up because I was still figuring out how to get into education. But yet, like even when I was there and doing that degree, I came across this volunteering organization. It's called Rang De Zindagi, and they gave me a platform to start teaching over the weekends. And then there was no stopping. Then even though I
Yeah.
applied for my campus placements, and I thought of pursuing a master's in engineering, but I knew that I wasn't doing it at all. I right away applied to teach for a fellowship, got through, and have been in this field. About building those experiences, I think internships and volunteering experiences are great. Like even if you wanted to, like in your case, sort of like if you're doing a master in, you're doing undergrad in maths, and you want to explore how business looks like, go volunteer and see if you could do something. Right now, you're program managing for scholarship track as a volunteer, right? So that's one little internship experience. So keep on
Definitely.
gaining those experiences, and you understand. Sometimes for money, sometimes not for money, as long
Just
as
for
you
the
know
experience.
what you want. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, like the crucial step is also while applying to universities is how to choose the university, how to
How to?
find bunch of universities which
Mm,
exactly I want to apply. So
mhm,
and then finding the best match. So how did you
mhm,
go about it? How did you find your perfect country, or like how the person should go?
mhm. Yeah. So again, in my case, my factors were like my siblings have been around
Okay.
in America, so I knew that this is the country that I wanted to target. My sister went to Columbia. My brother went to University of Central Florida, so they had also gone to really good schools. And in fact, my fiance was here in America as well. So for me, like deciding the country was very family based. I knew that this is where I wanted to be. In terms of schools, because I had worked for 5 years before, and I knew that the kind of programs that I was looking at, I had applied to 5 universities. I got through four of them. And I exactly knew what are the kind of courses that I was looking at, and which is the best school in the world for that. So I was really like thinking of getting an excellent education, which is why my universities were like that. But generally, if I were to start right from the beginning, what I would do is like just Google that what is it that I want to study. So if I want to do education and technology, then I type courses in education technology on Google. And then I keep on refining my search, like because you start getting better at finding your keywords. then you might end up finding like a certification program. So you see, oh no, this is like a very expensive certification program. Let me rather look for a master's program. How long is the program? What is the kind of diversity in the school? What are the kind of jobs that people do after their school? What are the kind of courses that are there within these programs? So there are multiple things that you would look for. And what is the fees? Can I afford it? When is it going to begin? Yeah, what is the kind of state it is in? Is it a hot country? Is it a cold country? I'm going from India. So there could be multiple factors that are
So the key
dependent on
factor would
you.
be to have the skill of googling this stuff and
Yeah,
finding
to
the right
begin,
path.
just Google, really.
Yeah,
Like that's where you begin. Or if you have some people who've already gone to these universities, reach out. Oh, do you know about some other universities? Okay, good. Harvard is great, but how about Columbia? Did you try that? So reach out to some seniors. LinkedIn is an excellent medium to check this
yeah.
out as well. So do that.
So if I try to sum it out, everything we just talked about, it would be like
Mm-hmm.
to have the mindset of researching
Mm-hmm.
and be curious about finding your current match, like what
Mm-hmm.
exactly you want to do, and then giving a rigorous time to finding the inward thoughts which you have for applying the scholarship and course.
Yeah.
So
On
I
the side,
think,
keep on writing your SOP because if you
yeah,
keep on writing it, you will get success.
like journaling the whole SOP would be a better thing before starting to write it. So I think we can
Mm-hmm.
sum it up all. We just got
Mm-hmm.
a question about like the free MBA courses on a scholarship, or like
Mm-hmm.
MBA scholarship for MBA course in US. So it would be like googling this stuff.
Yeah, I would actually begin like in terms of like if I could answer this particular question,
Yeah.
MBA schools and also a little bit of technical degrees. It's a little hard to get scholarships, but not too hard. Like it would be like level one hard, because not because these are like high return on investment programs. So sometimes like scholarship people would rather prefer people going in arts or humanities to get scholarships. But again,
Okay.
it depends from scholarship to scholarship. If you want to
So like
study
the
for free, you might,
diversity play a role in getting your
yeah,
scholarship.
yeah, it's like, yeah, a little bit there. But there's one, I know that Dhirubhai Ambani scholarship, Reliance Dhirubhai Ambani scholarship for Stanford. That can
Yeah.
get your MBA for free from Stanford GSB. So you might consider applying to that. Yeah, in case you want to go for an MBA. And there are feel free. And the best part about scholarships is that you should apply to all. Like sometimes, even if you're not eligible, like you at least gain experience when you apply to these scholarships on writing a better SOP. You get better each time
Yeah.
you apply for a scholarship application.
And
So just
probability must increase in the whole process to get the
yeah,
success. Probability must increase in the whole,
yeah,
yeah, because you're
absolutely.
applying to many.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think we can sum it up all here. Like we had it. Yeah, can we end this webinar?
Yeah, absolutely. If you do not have any other questions, happy to end it here and feel free to reach out to me in case I
Yeah.
could answer more
And then
questions.
if anyone want to connect with her, you can connect with her through LinkedIn. And yeah,
Yeah, and absolutely drop a comment when you're sending me an invite on LinkedIn because it becomes comfortable for me to see who's sending an invite
yeah.
and for what.
So thanks for coming in the session and talking about the your experience. And I hope everyone likes that. So
Yeah, thanks
yeah,
a lot. Thanks a lot, Sarah, for having me.
thanks.
Bye